system of governance of the universe. Because that's when you get the final peace. That's when you find yourself, I'm peace with myself. People, I talk to people. Part of what we do as a imam, we talk to people, we try to give them counseling, like all of you do, give counsel. More and more people that I counsel or write me, because every day somebody's writing me about some kind of issue problem. Most of the time it's personal, marriage kind of stuff, drug-related stuff, issue-related stuff with their children and so on. But in the majority of the cases, the problem, it's not so much the problem, it's how you internalize the problem. Because you're going to have problems. You can have a problem and you can internalize it in a very good way. You can get sick and you can say, MashaAllah, maybe Allah's slowing me down. Maybe Allah is giving me kafara for my dhunub. He's expiating my sins. And you submit. You still work on cure and go to the doctor and all that, but you're submissive. Or you can get sick and you can be all bent out of shape. Oh, sick! Ah! You're not submitted. You're running all over the place, going crazy. And a Muslim shouldn't find himself in that position. But that happens when we fight against the program of Islam, of submission. You fight because Islam is a system. If you go with it, everything moves accordingly. Not to say you're not going to have problems, because Allah's going to test you with this problem. But then at the end of the day, you still submit it. So Allah still is going to give you a certain amount of comfort, because that's what He gives to the person that submit. They're holding on. وَمَنْ يُسْلِمْ وَجْهَهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى. Whomever submits himself to Allah, then he has held on to a very, very firm rope. Because you're holding on. You still go through your ups and downs, but you're holding on. But if you're not submitting, you're not holding on. And that's why so many different things happen. I don't really understand why even in the modern day, and I have a hard time understanding how in the modern day, when we see the turmoil that goes on, mashallah, may Allah help us in the Muslim world. Just terrible stuff. Terrible. Terrible stuff. Terrible after terrible after terrible. Fighting, killing kids, bombing kids, cutting out people's heart, eating their heart. Burning people in the street, gang rapes, blowing up Masjid. This is crazy stuff. This is crazy stuff that goes on. Wholesale. I don't even know that much about history. I'm not even sure. Did we ever have this type of turbulence to this level? You have to ask yourself a question. Are we as Muslims, are we following the system, or are we trying to buck the system? Because it seems to me that we're bucking the system. And it's not for any Muslim who knows better to buck Allah's system. That's what submission is all about. Even if you don't, people make mistakes and people do sin and people do wrong. But nowadays, I'm talking about the Muslim. People just openly bucking this. This is what I do. This is how I get down. From the dude that openly sell alcohol to the dude that openly introduced you to his girlfriend and his bastard child. Sound like it's my girl, Mary over here. Like, dude, you're bugging the system. And Allah's not going to sit by and allow people to continue go against the system of submission that He sets. But He does warn us. He says, وَمَنْ يُسْلِمْ وَجْهَهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَهُوَ مُحْسِنٌ. And he's righteous. فَقَدْ اسْتَمْسَكَ بِالْعُرْوَةِ الْوُثْقَى. That he has held on to a strong rope. Then he says, وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَلَا يَحْزُنْكَ كُفْرُهُ. He says, if he rejects, don't let his rejection in your face distress you. إِلَيْنَا مَرْجِعُهُمْ, because they shall return to us. That's the whole thing. That's the whole deal. Ibn Kathir says, Al-Iman, Imanan. Al-Imanu billahi, wal-Imanu bil-Ba'th. He says, faith is two things. One is belief in Allah, the second is belief in the resurrection. Because it's all about the resurrection. This is how Muslim folks should understand the world. Yeah, we do things in the world. We gain from the world, and we enjoy the world. But when Allah talks about the people who reject His system, He says, إِلَيْنَا مَرْجِعُهُمْ فَنُنَبِّئُهُمْ بِمَا عَمِلُوا. They shall return to us, and we shall inform them about everything that they did. Because this is where the hisab comes in. This is the idea of Islam. Is that we submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we submit in our prayers, in our zakat, in our dhikr, in our relationships. We submit. Even if we get off track, we submit. Even if something happens to us that's bad, the first thing, you know, my car broke down the other day. Wallahi, the first thing I started thinking about, what did I do? I started thinking about, what did I do? What am I doing? And I came up with about a dozen things.